money of the kings and queens of the world. It's a form of commerce. Prior to 1971, our money, our dollars, was set up and they were backed by physical gold and silver. In 1971, I mean, you know this gentleman right here on the left-hand side, my left, your right. Tricky Dick, yeah. Richard Nixon, he was our president at that time. He took our money off of what we call the gold standard. When he took our money off the gold standard, our money became what they call a fiat currency. What is a fiat currency? It's a currency that's backed by nothing but the reputation of the company or the entity that is saying that it has value. So basically our money stopped being a valuable asset based off of a pure asset, gold or silver, and it became a fiat currency. From that time, the value of our money has begun to decrease. The value of the gold that it was taken off of it started to increase. So we're going to show you what happens over time. Now there is something that robs us every day. I know you guys know of this. We get a 3%, 2% cost of living increase. This thing is called inflation. How many of you think that's your friend? No. I don't have no friends that want to take away from me. So I want to give inflation a kick in there. You know what? Inflation basically limits our buying power. Now, let me ask you a question. 40 years ago, you were able to buy, in this particular screen, you were able to buy X amount of loaves of bread with what we have as a gram of gold. At the same time, as time went on, you're able to buy much more with the gold than you are with the money. Now, I wanted to do this. Well, actually, I had this car, actually the same year. This is a brand new 2017 Ford F-150. The car is about 42,000, 40,000 starting somewhere around that number. It goes up to about 60,000. A brand new Ford pickup back in 1950 was worth about 30 ounces of gold. That same Ford pickup today is valued at that same 30 ounces of gold. This right here at the time was worth about $1,600, somewhere around there, something a little less than that. So you see, from 1950 to 2017, our currency, the value of our currency has been stagnant and actually has lost value while the value of gold has increased. If you had the opportunity to say you had $1,000 in 1970, or if you had the opportunity to have an ounce of gold, which would you prefer to have? You would prefer to have that gold, because gold has actually has kept its store value over time. Now this right here on this particular chart, it shows from 1900 up until the chart is showing to 2015. The lines are showing, the gold line is the gold, the price of gold, and the green line is the purchasing power of our dollar. As you see in this particular graph, the dollar in 1900 had 100% buying power. This day, that dollar has lost 98% of its buying power. So for every dollar that you have in your pocket, it's only worth about 2 cents. How many of you knew that? The dollar is devalued right now. But if you look here, in 1970, when our money was taken off of the gold standard, the price of gold, the value of gold, started to increase. You see in 2015, 2014, the value of gold had went up 70 times what it was initially in 1900. But the value of our money has dropped down to only 2%. Gold is big business. They say he that has the gold make the rules. It's the money of kings and queens. Who got the gold rules? So right here you see some influential individuals. And do you think they know something that we don't? You see showing Puff Daddy Combs, he saves in gold. Alan Greenspan, in gold. Queen Elizabeth, even 45, in gold. So Dr. Miles Monroe, he actually was a member of our organization, but prior to his passing, he was teaching his congregation and abroad to save in gold. And everyone knows Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, he talks always about gold. This right here is the Queen's gold. Who's minding the store? Yeah, you're right. Hey, I'll be honest with you. That one bar, that one bar has great value.
That's more than 1 kilo, right?
Yeah, that's more than a kilo.
1 bar is more than 1 kilo.
Yeah, that's probably about 10.
About 10, yeah.
Good.
Well, you know, gold is a dense product. It has a lot of weight. Even a kilo of gold is extremely heavy. Can you imagine that one bar? That's like, give me that one bar. You melt that sucker down. Before Prince's death, it says that he had over $840,000 worth of gold stored in value. They think he knows something that we didn't know. The wealthy teach wealth to their family and their children and their children's children. So you think it's about time that we know?
Amen.
I want to know, and I'm knowing. Saving in gold is a premier wealth building asset. Earning commissions by referral and accumulation of gold-backed assets is what we do. We save in gold, we get paid in gold, and we teach others how to do the same. Karatbars International started in 2011 in Stuttgart, Germany. Right now, we have a fully licensed crypto bank in Miami, Florida. We also have offices in Hong Kong, Singapore, Germany, Dubai, and Slovenia. An IT office in Bangladesh. This is the founder of our company, Dr. Harold Seitz, based out of Germany. Dr. Harold Seitz has this mission to produce the highest quality gold available in the market and make it easily available to the masses of honest people around the world at a price point that everyone can afford. For those of you that did not think that you could afford gold before tonight, I'm going to show you how you can afford it and how you can afford to save it. My goal is to help millions find financial freedom from the current system of debt with Karatbars. And so many of us are starting to realize this right now. But before I go here, I'm going to tell you, we're going to talk about 2008, because I'm going to tell you about how the company actually founded. In 2008, how many of you know what happened? Yes. We had a real estate boom, and then we had a market crash on top of that. So in 2008, we went through a recession, and we're still recovering from that recession. Harold Seitz is a financial advisor, selling insurance and financial products. And he said, you know what? It would have been so nice if every individual would have been able to have gold at the time of the crash, because they would have had a real asset and they would have been in a much better financial situation. But the problem was, most people could not afford gold. It was like $1,500 for an ounce of gold at the time, so a lot of people couldn't afford to have gold. So he said, well, he's an innovator. Let's think of a way that we can get gold into the hands of the average person. So they started doing fractional amounts of gold, 1 gram, 2.5 grams, 5 grams of gold. So 1 gram of gold is about $50 right now, somewhere in that $48 to $50 mark. So he made it available that someone could be able to put aside a percentage of their fiat currency into a real asset, which is gold. And the company was introduced to the world in 2011. From 2011 into 2019, where we're standing, we went from being in Germany to 145 countries. The experts explain change part of your money into gold. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get you to, number one, change your perception and your mindset. If you're saving a real asset. If you have to start off slow, put a portion of your savings in a real asset, gold. because it retains its value over time. Says maybe we can't fix the world, but we can fix our world. Okay? The most important economy is the one we have in our own homes. When you say that's your greatest economy, because I was taught that a good man, good woman leaves an inheritance to his children and his children's children. But we're leaving a bunch of debt to our children and children's children. I'm a licensed financial advisor myself by profession, and I've been in insurance and financial services for 27 years. And I got into it because I know that in our areas, in our neighborhoods, a lot of people didn't have anything they were leaving for their family besides a lot of tears and a lot of debt. People were having to move their families from their homes and go somewhere else because they weren't properly set up. So now is the time to be educated about what is available to you. Did I do something, Ira? Oh, there you go. Oh, wait a minute.
You got stuff.
Oh, there. Okay, you got a mind of his own? All right.
Look
I
at
think we
gold
should-
now. Last time
this
you
is
were
small
on, it's been
little
about
videos
2
about
years,
the
and you're telling me
rapid
how
PSI.
gold for you is real
Can you hear?
money.
Yes.
I'm guessing that your view hasn't changed much.
No, I started buying gold in 1972, right after I understood what Nixon did in 71 by taking us off the gold standard. And I've been a student of gold, which is why I love Kitco so much. See, gold is not only real money, it's spiritual money. I remember I was way out in Fiji one time talking to this guru out there, and I said, this guy was dripping with gold. I said, why do you have gold on? And he goes, looks like I was some kind of idiot, you know. He's a very spiritual man. He says, gold are the tears of God. Gold attracts wealth. So he says, if you want, let's say, $1,000 a month income, you hold $1,000 of real gold somewhere near your person in your house. That's why he was hanging all around him. So it's that real gold attracts, and it has so for thousands of years.
Yet it's not really attracting millennials yet, who seem more drawn to the cryptocurrencies right now. And
That's
I want to
understandable.
get your thoughts on that. So how do we get the younger generations interested in gold here?
Well, maybe someday they'll wake up is when they find out what real gold, what real money is. Like my friend James Rickards, you know, his great book is called The Road to Ruin. He talks about how the real long-term wealth people versus new money. New money is into derivatives, which is cryptocurrency and all that, stocks, bonds, mutual funds. Old money has always been in gold, land, and artwork. So it really is, what is your view on wealth? And so for my wife and I, our view is eternal wealth. Like our goal is to donate $100 million a year to charities, long after we're gone. But most people are here today, gone to Maui, as they say.
Right.
You know?
So what do you think of forecasts that are out there that, yes, gold will hit, 5,000, 10,000 an ounce? What do you think of that?
Look, that's what Mr. Rickards does, which I agree with him, is probably 10,000 an ounce. His numbers work. But with me, it's just how much do I want to earn a month? So if I want 10,000 a month, I hold 10,000 in gold. I want $1 million a month, I hold $1 million in gold.
Right.
Gold is an attractor. If people could understand that, so every time my wife and I wanted more money, we would just buy more gold and our income went up.
And you see, everybody know Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And he has a wonderful story about what got him into how he learned about money, because money wasn't being taught in our schools. And he had a father that was an educator, and he had a second father that was into wealth, that actually had real money. So he was always taught to, get a good job, work hard, make a lot of money. But the schools wasn't teaching anything but that. They wasn't teaching us about real wealth. And he found out about real wealth from this rich dad, who was the one that had a different philosophy on life. Right here we see some of the ways that our gold is actually distributed. Our gold comes in these beautiful cards right here. This is our classic gold. Our gold comes in these beautiful collector item cards, which have value within them themselves. Not only that, they have a security feature built in them, so wherefore you know that you have real, authentic gold that is not counterfeit, and you can take this to any bullion dealership and see the value of it. Our gold is 24 karat 999 bullion LBMA certified gold. Now, if you know anything about gold, 24 karat is pure gold. You can have 18 karat gold, 20 karat gold, 14 karat gold in your jewelry, but we have pure currency grade gold. Now, what does Karatbars have to offer? You know, in 2014, when I got into the organization, they had